I'm the lovely Debbie McGee.
I'm the lovelier Debbie Arnold.
And we've got a great show for you today. We're going to start with Dr Ghazala Aziz Scott, and we're going to talk about women's health.
Oh yes, and then Natalie is doing Nat's Nuggets.
Yes, great stuff. We've got some more jewels from Ate.
Sexual health concerns answered by Dr Wakil.
Oh, absolutely. And our lovely Dee, fresh from her facelift, has transformed herself even further with her hair. Just wait to see that.
It looks amazing.
It does.
Yeah.
We're delighted to welcome on to Beauty Investigates today Dr Ghazala Aziz Scott, who's got an amazing background in medicine, but has moved on from that. So we're going to find out, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, tell us about how you started in medicine.
So I started by doing a degree in neuroscience and medical ethics and law at Cambridge. So I had a really solid scientific background, and then I went to Oxford to do my clinical medicine.
You went to Cambridge and then Oxford?
I know, not many people can go to both. But I was lucky. No, you can't do that anymore. You have to stick to one. But in my day, you were able to go to both. And then I became a general practitioner. So I was a GP in the NHS for about 23 years. I was a partner in Ealing in West London. But about 5 or 6 years ago, I started to get itchy feet. And I thought, there's got to be more to life than this sort of conventional medical approach. And I went on a GP conference, and all of the different specialities, the drug that they recommended when everything else failed was this thing called a monoclonal antibody drug, which actually targets...
Hang on.
Oh, that's too much.
Say that again.
Yeah.
A what?
A monoclonal antibody drug. So it's a medication that actually targets the chemicals released in inflammation. Now we know that a lot of chronic diseases and cancers are one of the root causes is inflammation. So why aren't we looking at why the body gets inflamed instead of giving people these medications that block those chemicals that are producing inflammation? So it's sort of like, well, we're putting a sticking plaster on the actual problem. So I thought, light bulb moment, we need to look further into the root causes. So in 2019, I discovered functional medicine. And so I went across to Seattle and I did a training course with the Institute of Functional Medicine. Well, what is functional medicine? So functional medicine...
We don't need to be here, actually.
Yeah. So functional medicine is looking at the root cause of what causes illness. All the body systems are interconnected. And we need to look at what is driving disease, because most people, if they've got disease in one area of the body, will often have disease in other areas of their body. And we look at the physical causes of what someone's health issues may be, the psychological causes, what else is going on in their life. So we call that the sort of psychosocial aspect of their life, and the sort of spiritual dimension of their life. What are their relationships like? What do they enjoy doing? What brings them joy? So these are things that actually impact a person's wellness overall.
Absolutely fascinating.
In ancient Greece, lipstick first became associated with prostitution. In fact, there was a law passed to say that all prostitutes had to wear dark lipstick. This was probably just to separate them from the rest of society.
Debbie and I have started this process with you.
We want to know all about us.
How did you find the consultation? Because it's probably the longest medical consultation you've ever had.
Well,
Absolutely.
It felt like to me as if I was seeing a shrink.
It did. But yeah, a little bit like that. I've
it's
never
like-
been to a shrink, but I would imagine it's like that.
It does delve into your soul.
We form what we call a functional medicine timeline. So what we're looking at is what particular things might have triggered off illness. So for you, for instance, Debbie, one of the things that you developed after your mum died when she was 60 of cancer, and you were relatively young then, was your thyroid problem. So very often we know that when people have been under a lot of stress, it affects their immune system. And if your immune system's been affected, you're much more likely to get an autoimmune condition. And then for you, Debbie, you developed your breast cancer in 2018, which was a couple of years after your beloved husband died of 40 years, who was your soulmate. So that was a really big shock to your system. So it's looking at what kind of nervous system imbalances might have occurred and how that's affected your health going forward. We're also able to look at your individual genetics to look to see how does your body do particular functions. So are you more likely to get inflamed? How well do you clear toxins from your body? When we give you HRT, what does your body do with it? Do you produce good metabolites of estrogen, or do you produce more toxic metabolites of estrogen?
See, for me, it's so interesting because I've been on HRT for about 18 years now, and when I had my breast cancer we changed to a different type and much lower dosage, and I've never really thought of how my body was metabolizing it. I just thought, well, I know what it's giving me. That's all I thought about, which I think with most people taking drugs for specific things, you don't really
trust
think
it.
Yes, of how it's working in your body.
Yeah, the other thing is, with thyroid, just to sort of change the subject a bit, my mum died and obviously I got all these symptoms, which were, I told you, the reverse of what they should have been, which is equally ridiculous. But I wonder if I always did have a problem there, but it was never tested because I never showed any signs of it.
I'm very pleased to say, Debbie, that you're in actually excellent physical health. We did a full blood count, we did your B vitamins, we did your kidney function, we did your liver function, we did your iron levels, magnesium, cholesterol. We did how inflamed are you in your body. We did your diabetic markers. We did calcium levels. We did a vitamin D. We did all your thyroid hormones. We did all of your sex hormones, progesterone, testosterone. We did estrogen levels. We did DHEA levels. So it's a pretty comprehensive profile. However, one of the things we talked about was the fact that when you were put on conventional HRT, you were very, very sensitive to those hormones. And actually, the only thing you tolerated was this hormone called tibolone. Now, tibolone is a synthetic HRT that is used primarily for the treatment of osteoporosis, but it's actually been discontinued in the USA, and it's something that is not very commonly used and is not really the most optimum form of HRT. Now, as you're getting older, I think it's a conversation that we need to have as to, how long do you carry on with a synthetic hormone that may have other side effects as you get older.
So a synthetic hormone, they've literally copied what the real hormone does.
Yeah. Because Debbie number one is on a synthetic HRT, it doesn't reflect in her blood tests because the blood tests are measuring the levels of natural hormones. So her sex hormone levels are very, very low. Whereas Debbie number two, because you are actually taking a bioidentical preparation, your estrogen levels are within normal range for someone of your age group. The bioidentical estrogen will be doing its job better than the synthetic estrogen. And it's only really in 2019 that the British Menopause Society said that bioidentical hormones are the way forward. Now, that is only 5 or 6 years ago. It's not a long time ago.
Now it's time to talk sexual rejuvenation with one of Harley Street's finest, Dr. Wakil.
My name is Dr. Sharif Wakil. They call me Dr. O from Dr. Orgasm. And the reason being is I introduced a wave of treatment to treat male and female sexual dysfunction using a non-surgical method about 14 years ago. And this has really grew up so big, and I became the godfather of sexual regeneration. We have about 65 to 70 different treatments. All these treatments are coming from regenerative and functional medicine. All of them are non-surgical, no downtime in the majority of them, no side effects reported so far, and a great satisfaction rate. For female, for example, we deal with a massive spectrum. Vaginal laxity, vaginal dryness, lesion sclerosis, which is an autoimmune disease, stress urinary incontinence, urge incontinence, increased sensitivity. A lot of women suffer from increased sensitivity at certain ages, whether it's in the clitoris or in the vagina. And we really managed to improve that quite a lot with various treatment that we have here. These are one of the radio frequency machines that we have. We have so many, actually we have about 6 or 7 radio frequency machines to tighten the vagina. This one, it's called Votiva, which is radio frequency here. So the heat comes from this part here, and we introduce it inside like that, and we start going 360 degrees like this as we pull out from the vagina, and that heats the whole vaginal canal and tighten the vaginal canal. It also helps with the with the dryness, it helps with increased sensitivity. It's basically regenerating the entire vaginal canal. And that's another device, also radio frequency machine. The platform is called Excelis, and this machine is called a Ultra Fem 360. Again, this is for the vagina. As you can see, this is 360 metal part in here, which heats up, and that's we introduce it into the vagina to heat up the entire vaginal canal as we go in and out, and as a result of that, we create the shrinkage. And as I said, the radio frequency in general rejuvenates the vaginal canal. It helps with the dryness, it helps with the increasing sensitivity and so on. But mainly, I use these two for the laxity, for tightness of the vagina.
Just as you thought it was getting even more interesting, we now have some jewels with Ate.
Thank you, girls. Today I have got to show you my good friend Trini Woodall's Trini London Elevator. Now, what they don't tell you when you're 19 is that your neck goes. And it has been absolutely shocking that in my late 40s, I have noticed a little bit of sagging here and there. And Trini, well, Auntie Trini has the product for you. This is called Elevator, brand new phytopeptide concentrate, sea buckthorn, olive oil, like cacao extract, and also beautiful ingredients like rosemary, which is great for circulation. Really helps with your jowl neck area. I think most people, when they learn to do skincare, they think their face stops here, when my good friend Caroline Hirons always tells us, take it to the tits. So get yourself some Elevator. This is amazing, and do take it all the way here, and make sure when you're washing your face, you're moisturizing, your neck gets some TLC as well. And this is one of my favorite products for the job. Enjoy.
Have you seen Dee lately?
No.
I mean, the journey is fantastic. It really is. The face is all, and got rid of all the little bits here and there.
I've seen that.
You have?
So what's next?
Her hair.
I'm off to see Ian McIntosh, who's this great creative hairdresser.
We're at Containerville and we're at Troy Hair. Today we're seeing Dee Anderson and we're trying to get this Lady Penelope look.
That sort of 60s vibe.
It's a way of doing something that's modern,
A hint at Lady Penelope.
but with that inspiration.
I cannot wait.
Oh, when you look at Dee, she looks more like Lady P than her mum did, although Lady P was based on her mum.
Here is my mother's creation, which is Lady Penelope. I've always had very fine hair. So the plan is do the gold fever extensions.
To add the volume and the length.
Fine hair has been quite difficult to manage because I have to keep putting product in it. It goes very flat. So these extensions are really going to help that sort of lift.
I've been doing hair extensions since the 80s when you plaited in acrylic hair and used a lighter to melt them. These are so good. You cut them up into tiny little fine pieces, and the hair is Indian temple hair.
And then cut it
A little bit shorter in length.
thicken it up,
And making the hair quite a bit blonder, a bit shaggy, it'll be softer around the face.
and hopefully shape my face. It's been a big overhaul for me, personally. At my age, I feel I'm going to reinvent myself again. I trust Ian. And this is the last part of my transformation. So when people see me, they're going to go, "You're looking rather good. What have you done? What is it about you that looks so different? Have you been on holiday?" I'm kind of breaking the rules here because, well, we used to think of people of my age sitting in a rocking chair doing their knitting, didn't we? But not me, oh no. I'll be clubbing soon.
Ian, I
love my hair. You look brilliant, Ian. Thank you.
Dr Ghazala Aziz Scott. When we came in, your cholesterol was fantastic and mine is a bit high. And I wasn't surprised because the first time in my life I put on weight was during the pandemic. Then I started doing like a diabetes diet, eating more cheese and things like that, which I've been doing for 2 years. And I have been thinking, actually, I have lost weight, but not like I would have expected. And in the last couple of weeks, I've gone back to eating how I always ate, 3 meals a day, you know, and just all carbs, the things I'd been cutting out for a couple of years. And I'm gone back to the gym a lot more. So I know with my cholesterol now, I need to go and look at what I'm eating more than anything.
Because you're very slim and actually, you know, your diet is largely very, very healthy. So I was quite surprised to find that one of the bad fats, the triglycerides, was high. Because we're looking at you, I wouldn't think the triglycerides were high.
And it's never been before when I've had my cholesterol tested.
And what's interesting is you telling me that you eat a lot of sugar and one of your inflammatory markers is a little bit up.
Yeah.
It's this thing called high sensitivity CRP, and it measures how inflamed our body is. I mean, you're not that bad, but it's a little bit higher than Debbie number ones, who's obviously doing the right thing.
It says my cholesterol is quite high.
No, your cholesterol is
6.2.
Yes, but the good cholesterol is very good as well. So we look at the ratio of the total cholesterol and the good cholesterol. The HDL. But you've got to look at these things in context. You know, the cholesterol results the ranges are also for people who are on a statin medication, which neither of you on. The ranges are also for people who've had pre-existing cardiovascular disease, which neither of you do. And also you've got to look at someone's cardiovascular risk in terms of, are they overweight? Are they inflamed? What else are they eating? Have they got blood pressure? Have they got a family history? And neither of you have any of those things. So your cholesterols are not really worrying me.
But it's better that we don't look at these and a doctor reads them because they understand them.
Face facts. Did you know that Queen Victoria supposedly cleaned her skin with chamomile tea?
Oh, God. Well, that explains why she always looked slightly unimpressed. She probably had tea bags stuck to her face.
Fast forward to today and we've got more cleansing options than we've had ex-boyfriends, but which one actually works?
Good question. Do you know, I started with Pond's cold cream, which was basically liquid foundation and regret in a bottle.
Oh, please. My mother swore by Max Factor's Satin Flow. I used to use it too.
And now everyone's obsessed with face washes, foaming, gel, cream, oil-based. Do you know, my bathroom looks like a science lab.
Well, face washes are great, but let's be honest, can they really remove waterproof mascara? I always end up looking like a raccoon that's been through a breakup.
Same here. Do you know, some people swear by micellar water, but others say it leaves behind residue, and I don't want my face to feel like a frying pan that hasn't been properly rinsed.
It looks like one. That's where double cleansing comes in. Step 1. Use an oil-based cleanser or micellar water to break down the makeup. Step 2, follow with a gentle face wash.
Oh my God, double cleansing? Oh, that sounds like double the effort.
True, but at least you won't wake up with yesterday's smoky eyes still haunting you.
True, fair point. And for eyes, oil-based removers are the way to go because tugging at your eyelids it's like peeling off wallpaper, and it's not the answer.
So, the verdict? Whether you're team cold cream, team foaming wash, or just using chamomile tea like Queen V?
Well, Nat, the key is to cleanse properly and keep your skin happy.
My skin is always happy.
Yes.
You've brought some tests with you, haven't you, that we can try at home?
I have. So when we talked about blood tests, when we do blood tests, we're checking things one moment in time. And blood tests give us a lot of useful information, but they don't give us a lot of other information that we can get from these very advanced, cutting-edge functional medicine tests that we can do in the clinic. So we use this lab called Nordic Lab, and there are several tests that we can do. So this one that I'm going to get both of you to do is called DNA Life. And what this looks at is it looks at each of your individual tendencies towards things like inflammation, detoxification, cholesterol metabolism, oxidative stress. So all of these things that can have an impact on your health. This will look at your individual tendencies. So then we know, say Debbie number 1, you've got a real tendency towards inflammation. We know what we need to focus on with you is really how do we reduce inflammation. Say Debbie number 2, you've got a high risk of oxidative stress, which can produce toxic chemicals in your body. We know that we've got to help you in your diet introduce a lot of phytonutrients, which are antioxidants. So we've got to make sure you focus on that. So when we know what our individual bodies are doing and what our individual genetic tendencies are, we then know what do we need to do to support our health, because information and knowledge is powerful in how we look after ourselves. So
let's have a look.
There you go.
Yeah.
And 2 of the other tests are this thing called a Dutch Plus test. So a Dutch Plus test is something that I really want to do on both of you. So for you, Debbie number 2, it's to look at how does your body metabolize your estrogen, because I want to make sure that you're not producing toxic metabolites. For you, Debbie number 1, I want to look at your nervous system, because you have had so many difficult, stressful life events, and I want to look at your stress hormone patterns and your adrenal function, because I want to also work out why were you so sensitive to normal hormones? Why have you ended up being on a synthetic hormone? And then the other test is a gut function test. So we're also going to look at this thing that lots of people know about, the gut microbiome. So we now know that the gut microbiome,
Oh dear.
all of these millions of bacteria that are in our gut are very, very important in our overall health. So we're actually able to look at lots of different aspects of our gut function, including those pesky bacteria.
For any of our viewers that are watching today, if they were, say, to come to your clinic or any other clinic for an initial consultation and the blood test, what sort of costs are they looking at?
So an initial consultation of 45 minutes to an hour is £350,
yes.
and that can be online or in person. And then the blood tests are £340 for that very comprehensive.
And for people, I think, who think that's a lot of money, I think you've got to look at it this way. If you save £5 a day, or if you have a coffee every day, I think you know what I mean, from any of those big places, and you put that aside from when you're in your early 20s, I think, then you have got a fund to help you with this as you get older. I mean, the NHS is so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And, we're women, so we're at the bottom of the pile.
Making that investment in your health is actually quite a good thing. People will pay, £200 or £300 to get their hair highlighted.
Yes.
Or beauty treatments.
Or go on holiday.
Or go on holiday, exactly. So I think it's somewhere, something that, is very worthwhile.
So look after your body from the inside
Yeah.
out.
And also, we need a second opinion. And my sister taught me this years ago, because she was always somebody that has a second opinion about absolutely everything. And she's so right. And I think, particularly with women's health, that you go to the GP and you still don't feel great or whatever. Someone like you can look deeper and quite simply correct that, which is wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
For peace of mind.
Ghazala, you are amazing.
Yeah. Thank
really
you.
amazing. We love you to pieces. Well, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from her.
Oh yes, it certainly is. But I hope you've enjoyed the show and learnt some interesting facts. But of course, we've got loads more on our social media posts, so do follow us.
Yes.
But that's it for today.
It is. Will you stop touching me?
Oh,
I'm touching her.
we're such good friends.
I love her.